I just took a bull. This bull has been sounding gnarly, nasty. On my right, there's two bulls fighting. I can see them going, their bodies moving back and forth between the trees. And then all of a sudden I hear this. There's another bull right there. Walking through those aspens.
I shot him. Did you hear that?
No. We both just shot the same bull.
He shot him first.
He shot him first. Oh my gosh. What a heck of a pursuit, dude. All freaking day.
When your buddy calls you, says you got a buck down. And what does he got? A buck down.
Look what I found.
What a sweet coos, man. Opening day, heck yeah. Way to go, Steve.
Arizona Archery Club is a premier partner with BowhuntingAZ. When it comes to attention to detail and a fiery passion, Arizona Archery Club brings it all to the table. With all the latest bows and archery equipment, you can demo every single model in person, free of charge at their demo room. Walk through the process with an experienced bow tech and see which bow is right for you without the sales pressure. Their indoor archery range offers air-conditioned lanes with standard or 3D targets available. When you visit, be sure to mention you're a listener to the BowhuntingAZ podcast. Let's all support local. Conquering your own dark mountain is no easy task. The backcountry requires grit and determination. Having quality supplements like Dark Mountain's Kodiak pre-workout, whey proteins, and nourishing recovery are all an essential part of your success in the journey to harvest from the land. Dark Mountain is a 2% for conservation company because they know that with a collective effort, we can cherish these resources for a long time to come. Use promo code BowhuntingAZ20 for 20% off your order. Afflictor Broadheads are cutting to the core of broadhead technology. With both expandable hybrids and fixed broadheads, you have an arsenal available for any hunting need. Team BowhuntingAZ has placed our trust in Afflictor as our exclusive broadheads to hunt with. Check out Afflictor's selection over at afflictorbroadheads.com. Built mountain tough, Scree Gear offers hunters the highest quality clothing for affordable prices. With patterns designed by military concealment specialists, Scree Gear brings you closer to the game without being detected. With every climate in mind, Scree Gear hosts a huge selection of clothing for all the terrains of North America and beyond. Check out Scree Gear today at www.screegear.com. Use promo code BowhuntingAZ for 15% off your first order. Too many of us feel at a loss when it comes to storing or displaying our bows. Rax has the answer. With many of the major bow brands available or even the option to have your own custom racks made. This is hands down the only way to show off your setup. I even prefer to have a mini racks for my Euro mounts. Made in the US out of carbon steel, racks and mini racks secure into your wall and offer padded hooks to give your bow the perfect spot where it's out of the way but easy to access. Check out racks and use promo code PASSION15 to get 15% off your order. Visit raxinc.com. That's RAXXINC.com today.
All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the BowhuntingAZ podcast. We just ate dinner, had some mule deer burgers.
Stuffed like a turkey on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, for real.
Super full.
Now we're having a little bourbon.
That was your recent mule deer, wasn't it?
Yes, that was from January. January OTC. Delicious.
That was good.
He's good.
Really good,
Yeah. My first mule deer experience wasn't that great. I shot a young buck. He was a spike, but he's a little ready. Devin was like,
Huh.
He had some game flavor to him for sure. But this one was.
And that's weird
Dude,
because
this
like,
one's
this one
killer,
was in the
man.
rut, or like
Yeah.
maybe post rut,
Oh, yeah.
if anything, but pretty much in the rut. And
Yep.
then the one that you had prior was pre rut.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he's amazing. We had steaks last night too. It did super
why?
tender.
Because you shot him in the heart, bro.
Oh,
Yeah.
heart shot
The other
bomb.
one was a gunshot. This one was an archery shot.
Is that what it was?
Archery makes everything taste so much sweeter.
I shot the stank out of him.
Yeah.
Huh. All right.
Yeah. We're gonna do a hashtag challenge.
Hashtag heart shot bomb.
Yeah.
100-yard heart shot bomb.
Hashtag archery over gun. Hashtag Jake's right.
So
we got a special guest today.
we do.
Come on, dude.
You want to
We can't
introduce
just keep
yourself,
going
man?
Yeah, I'm Eric. Nice to meet y'all.
We got Mr. Siegel over here.
Yeah. This is Eric Siegel. He's you've probably seen me do some tags on Instagram and such.
What's your handler's name?
E Siegel 91.
You gotta spell Siegel though, otherwise
SIEGEL.
Yeah, it's not like the seagull like in California. Right?
Because those are stupid.
Or no, that's it.
No, that's a
What?
Mine, that's what it is. Huh?
Oh man! Oh yeah, mine. Yep. No, we did we did a little short film that I posted on Instagram of some of the stuff that we did in
He
hunting,
also
the bucks that we
he
saw.
was featured in one of the Scree videos that we ended up.
He was, yeah. Did he his little pit zipper?
Yeah. It was like 2 seconds of fame there, man.
That's right. That was his debut.
Yeah, we were like, if he could go up that hill with us, he could be all right.
Yeah, that was some good bear country.
Oh, yeah. He walked the spine to death.
We did. That was a cool spine.
It was a cool spot,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was cool.
Heck yeah. And then, then we did some of your OTC stuff
Lots of OTC stuff.
of where we hunted. It's not really a secret spot, really, but
Oh, we hunted a popular unit, but
yeah.
a non-popular part of the unit.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, we rarely saw anybody out there.
Yeah, so I personally hunted this unit in the same spot that you were at, but you went further.
So we got there because of you.
Yeah,
Pretty
the
much.
year before, and
You saw a 3x3.
I saw a huge 3x3, like looked like a freaking just a Midwest whitetail, like this huge neck, and I remember telling you that. I was like, dude, I saw a huge 3x3. You're like, yeah, right, dude. The magical buck, yeah, sure, dude. And dude, I remember it clear as day. And I tried making a stock on him. I first spotted him 300 yards. I was on top of this knob, same knob I think you guys glass at.
Mm-hmm.
And tried to make a move on him. Went down in there and I couldn't find him again. And I think you guys probably had some same scenarios in the same area.
The first day we went out there, no less than 10 minutes, this majestical beast of a deer was coming at us.
He wasn't fiction, right?
No.
Okay, yeah. See, I wasn't lying here, Steven.
Probably saw him like 500-600 yards, and he looked huge. And I was like,
Right.
I've never seen a deer that big, especially from that far away. And he's just wide. And I was like, oh, he's coming right at us.
Yeah.
So we sat there for a while, and he never came. And then, we hit that place hard.
Yeah.
For,
What
2
it
weeks,
sounded like,
3
yeah.
weeks?
I think that was the big fork that you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it wasn't the 3x3, but we did see that big.
We saw the
3x3.
3x3 later.
That I was talking about,
Yeah.
you think?
Yeah, he was out there.
Huh?
You think you saw the same one that I
He's a 3x4 now.
Okay. Well, I'm
Yeah.
sure he probably was. He was just a big bruiser, man.
Dude.
Like he had the Roman nose
Yeah.
you think of, like when you think
Yeah.
of just a solid,
Actually-
old, big, mature mule deer buck.
That's him right there.
him right there.
It's probably, it might be him.
Yeah.
It's just his nose looked way more like rounded, like
boxier.
it just looked like an old whitetail, Midwest whitetail. Like I don't know how you. We're like, if you see any of the, I guess a lot of them, Saskatchewan mule deers, where they're these huge brutes of deer.
Yeah.
And it just looked like that, but it was in Arizona. It was cool. And apparently, he got away. They don't
did.
get big
They
for
all
no
did for
reason.
me.
You know.
We were close though, man.
Oh,
we got
man, we
real
got-
close.
I got close on that 3x3
Yeah.
over here.
But nobody
Real
hunts
close.
back
Yeah.
there.
No,
Like nobody.
I noticed that.
Even we tried going back in kind of one time, and we ended up finding a coos deer. Even a little bit further back a little bit, but but still nobody was hunting back there.
No.
They were all kind of staying closer towards like the flats and the roads.
Yep.
But they weren't over like in that gnarly stuff.
Yeah.
So
That was cool though, because I was like,
remember that was the same weekend. One night we went hiking up these hills. And you're like, how good are you at going downhill? I was like, I'm all right. He's like, you ever snowboarded before? And I was like, yeah. He's like, all right, this is like Black Diamond stuff.
dude, it was.
We
I remember we were doing it in the dark too.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were in the dark, and I was using like this little flashlight off your camera.
Oh, that's right. I had that little light thing. Yeah, that was.
Because I didn't have a headlamp that time or nothing, dude.
Yeah, that was a gnarly downhill trip.
I was downhill, dude. It was, and you couldn't see where you were going. We were just like looking at our map. So, all right, well, looks like it'll lead us right to it.
Yeah.
Let's just keep going down.
I just saw a draw that led us to the road, and I was like, oh, that looks good.
Right.
Like, whoa, I didn't realize it was that.
Right. Yeah, that was gnarly.
So we started, you tagged out in November.
Right. Well,
you got your coups. In fact, that's pretty much one of the last podcasts that we did was things we learned from
that's right.
deer season. Kind of touched on bear.
We were getting ready for OTC.
Yeah, getting ready for OTC, and you had just tagged out on coups rifle.
Yeah.
And so we pick up basically where I started taking Eric out for December OTC,
right,
and took him to that spot where you had seen that deer.
About, yeah.
And so we get out there, and pretty much like the first morning.
Immediately.
Yeah.
10 minutes. Less than 10 minutes. We see a deer. I was like, oh my.
That's a trip.
What is happening?
That deer is huge.
It's a trip.
Dude, that is the biggest, like, that is hands down. That fork is the biggest fork I've ever seen.
Yeah, he was a monster.
Huge.
Yeah.
Just super wide.
Well, it's big country in there, too. So.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, the only thing going back in there is predators. I don't think anybody's in their right mind to want to go back in there.
Yeah, no.
I didn't. I didn't want to go back.
Yeah,
Multiple times.
But when you're hunting with Steven, you go anywhere.
Right.
it took like a handful of trips, and he was like, yeah, no, I'm good.
Well, we did it.
Yeah.
Right?
Which is funny, because really where we hunted in January wasn't that different.
No, you're right. And I've been up there multiple times. I never want to go up there, but I know the deer are up there, so
Right.
well, I'm gonna go up there.
Right.
Of course, you took us further than normal, where I usually go.
There you
Oh,
go.
you're talking about where you got your buck?
Yeah.
Still a hike. I mean, up that mountain is.
Well, what we said that one time. If you hunt bears, you can pretty much freaking hunt anything.
Yeah, dude, to be honest, after you and I did and went to the bottom there,
That's like one of the motivation things for me is like, well, I've already done.
I can do anything.
So like that's literally my thing. Like, my motive, my head, it's like, well, it can't be worse than. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna get my butt up to
Going
the top.
from the top
Like,
all the way down to the bottom and then
Oh,
back
my
up.
gosh,
Dude,
dude.
I can do anything after
dude,
that.
you know, like that took me to the next like like I was right near the top, right?
Yeah.
I was right near the top of that canyon, and I could see the top, dude. I could see like the ridge, the saddle, where this big, huge, nice, good-looking pine tree where you could sit, you know. But I was still stuck on this like freaking 90-degree incline, and I'm just looking at it like, ugh. And I kept like stopping and grabbing some water out of my pack, drinking, and I'd rest for like a good 5 minutes. Then I'd go maybe like 10 yards, and my legs are like, ugh, again. And I'd be like, all right, I gotta rest another 10 minutes.
I just remember you knocking that rock, that like decent boulder, and it
Oh, dude, that was the beginning of it too, yeah.
And it was like a movie. It was like you could hear it go on
Forever,
and
dude.
on and on. I'm like, damn, is that ever gonna stop? Like, it's still going. You know, it just kept going and going, and finally it like faded out. But
I don't think it ever stopped.
it's probably still going. It's still going right now.
Yeah, remember you go, and you can still hear the.
Oh man! So we hit this kind of further back in country. We went after that spike or the fork, and we were playing on him for a while.
Yeah.
And dude, you got lots of good plays. We had like 80 yards, lots of 100 yards, and a good 50 yarder for a brief minute.
Was he running much does?
Yeah.
We had 6, I think.
Okay, so you had
And a small spike.
cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And so right away there was good action, which was cool because like you could have tagged out. I was like getting amped up and hyped for I'm like, yeah, January, like woo, like let's go. And it was cool, man. It was fun. Yeah, it was just good. It was good.
It was a good time.
It was nice to finally see action after having tagged out.
Well, that wasn't actually.
earlier.
That wasn't even January.
No, that was December.
December.
That was
the second
December.
week of December.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say we ended up going January the following weekend.
Right.
After all that.
Right.
And then you actually ended up getting a shot at a nice good buck too. But
Yep.
but yeah.
Yeah. So he put lots of time in there.
Yeah, you guys
Did,
spent weekends in there.
Yeah.
I was tagged out, dude.
Multiple.
I'm good.
I know.
Right.
I thought about going back there in January too, but I don't know. We just didn't.
I did a couple times, I think.
Did you?
You went back over in that spot?
Yeah.
That unit?
Oh yeah.
I don't remember.
I did a couple like afternoons.
Oh,
where
that's right.
I had work up
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Sedona
yeah.
or something
Yeah,
or wherever,
I
and
remember.
I hit a couple times up there. But I never saw anything, which was I was
You know,
real frustrated.
Somebody was telling me once that that they ended up driving down. There's a big road that goes and kind of follows along the canyon over there, but that they saw some guy walking out with a bear, a full bear. Like it wasn't gutted, nothing. It was a full bear. It was two guys. Right?
Jeez.
Yeah, and he said he stopped and talked to me. He's like, "Hey, you guys got a bear?" He's like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "Well, why didn't you guys gut it or skin it?" He's like, "Well, we left our phones up here, so we didn't want to take pictures until we got them." And the guy, like, because I think I met him over at Ben Avery's, but
Jeez.
and he was like, "Dude, I don't care what kind of pictures you take, dude." He's like, "I wouldn't be carrying a full freaking bear out of that canyon because that's a gnarly canyon
That's
too.
a super gnarly canyon.
I mean, it's not as big as Clear Creek, but it's big, big.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I just had to put those in.
Yeah.
That was like 2 cents.
Yeah, that's some dedication right there, man.
Right? But I could definitely see predators and bears in there.
Oh, for sure. In fact, we heard
We might have
something.
put a cat. It was a weird sound.
Right.
We don't know.
I don't know what else it
Sounds
could
like
have
kitty
been.
cat or what?
Oh yeah,
for sure. It was cat-ish.
Yeah,
I
for
guess you could
sure.
say.
Yeah?
I
Like
don't,
meow?
I don't know. Yeah.
No.
It was
Not
like
a house
really
cat?
high-pitched, like, screech almost. It was weird.
We saw a freaking house cat, remember?
Yeah, in fact, I saw
That was
some today
hilarious.
at the zoo. I was like, oh, hey. I was like, Jake
House
saw one of
cat.
those. Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Oh, the legit house cat.
A
Yeah.
legit house
I thought you
cat
meant the small
in the
bobcat
wild.
that
No,
we saw.
in the wild.
Yeah.
Really?
We were like,
Yeah.
what the heck? I was like, I think that's a house cat. He's like, no, that's not a house cat. I was like,
I was,
pretty sure that's
what
a
did I say?
house
It was a javelina or something?
cat. I think he said it was something. Yeah, like javelina or whatever. I was like, no, that's a cat. He's like, no, it's not. It's not.
Dude, we were so far
Dude,
out there. I was
that's
like,
a
there's
freaking
no
house cat.
way there's
I
a
was like-
house cat out here.
And then we pull up next to it. He's like, oh yeah, that's a house cat.
I was
Like
so
the middle of
baffled. I was
nowhere,
like,
dude.
all
In the
right.
middle of nowhere in the desert. There's just a little house cat.
Right? I don't know how that thing hasn't been eaten by coyotes or
something, dude, or a bigger cat.
Yeah, another cat. Who knows?
Weird.
That was a trip.
That was funny. So yeah, we basically shut out December and had lots of good plays.
Yeah.
Rapidly figured out that hey, it's gonna be tough stalking this year.
Yeah.
Like
It's
everything's
so dry.
dry,
It was bad.
So dry.
crunchy.
Well, it sounded like you guys had the freaking bread and butter over there. You guys had cloudy days.
We did,
It was.
And then the weekend we went.
yeah,
Then the weekend we went, and it was nothing but bright sunny days.
yeah. We had the crappy weather
But
for the beginning of January, and then towards the end of January, we actually had that weather system that started moving in.
yeah.
and was giving us decent, stuff to play with.
Yeah.
But we had some nice days there in December where it was completely overcast. In fact, the first day where we saw the big fork was all overcast all day long, and we saw several other bucks moving too.
And that was OTC January, yeah?
December.
Oh, December, okay.
Yep. So then we shut out December, and
And that's when we ended up going.
we ended up.
Dude, it looked so
Hammering.
promising. It looked so promising. That night we showed up, right? So I ended up
Oh.
pulling up. That night we showed up
Yeah.
to camp, right? It was the first. It was December 31st, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because we ended up camping out there New Year's, and
Yeah, my wife was at yours.
and so we get out there. I get the trailer. I was taking Pop's trailer truck, and get to camp. And literally, I'm pulling into camp. I see like 5 does scurry off the road and go up this other hill. Then I'm taking this left, going into the camp spot, and I'm looking straight up this little knob, and there's this like a decent, good little fork, 2x2.
Yeah.
Up there on the top of this ridge with another spike and like probably 4 does.
200 yards.
Yeah, 210 yards, something like that. I was like, what? I was like, dude. And then we're like, if this is how it's gonna be, we're tagging out tomorrow morning first thing. Like, there's no brainer. And then we're like, all right, well, we dropped the trailer off, and went cruising over in the Nissan, and went to another spot where we know we've seen them.
Yep.
And sure enough, there was a nice big buck in there, dude. Yeah. And we're like, all right, dude, we're gonna whack them and stack them, dude. It's like, all right, I'm tagging out first thing in the morning. We're gonna be back at camp at 7:30. Yep. He's like, oh yeah, I like that. You know, we were all thinking we're hot stuff, you know. And then we got our butts whooped.
Yeah.
Like that we did. Yeah, it was tough, man. And, a lot of it was definitely pressure.
Yeah, dude, that first couple
so
days
people.
during, like, when we took that camper out there.
Yeah.
The first couple days, man, it was just, I think I counted, like 7 or 8 trucks?
Yeah, it was tough, man.
Within a couple mile radius. And I was like, jeez.
It was tough. It's just, you know, I mean, sometimes, and it's just weird because, like, where we were at that time, you can tell it's definitely pressured, and sometimes a lot of human presence can definitely cause that, and so you do sometimes got to go way further back in. Mm-hmm. But sometimes to get to the non-pressured deer, which you guys found that out in December, you know, where you guys went way back in there, and these deer probably haven't freaking seen people in years, maybe, you know, and so they're not as skittish. Versus where we were at that January OTC, they were pretty skittish. Yeah. And then you ended up, but it's sometimes weird because then where you ended up getting your mule deer buck, it's like they see people all the time.
Oh,
so it's like,
but I think they're accustomed to seeing people, so they're not as scared. It's because these other people they're seeing, you know, out in these, they're trying to kill them. Right. Whereas the white tanks people, they don't try to kill them.
Yeah.
You know
so
what I mean?
I was actually joking with a guy, like last weekend, that he actually hunts white tanks and McDowell Mountains.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
and
I've heard that's decent.
And so I was joking with him. He was saying, "Yeah, dude, the deer over there, they don't care for people, you know." He's like, "But it's weird because I go in like camo." He's like, they think something's weird, like it's like a bush moving, you know. He's 100%. Like, you know you're a hunter. They know you're a hunter. Yeah. I was like, well, maybe you should just go out there hunting. Maybe you should just go out hunting in bright pink clothes. He's like, dude, maybe I should do that.
It's true. It's 100% true.
It's so true, right?
Because we watched it happen so much when either one of us were out there. Mm-hmm. You know, and we'd see people walking the trail all day long, and the deer would just be like,
"Well, it's because I think it's just because you're so broken up, and they think like, well, wait, that's a bush moving towards me with a really sharp, pointy object, and he's gonna throw that at me. Yeah, I gotta move, guys." And he's like, "But that's Sally over there in a bright pink sweater. We're okay. Let's go over there." Right. So, I don't know. Who knows? But I'm not a mule deerologist. So.
Mule deerologist. Huh. That's new.
I don't think anybody is.
Well, I created my own profession now.
You should put that.
We're hiring. We're hiring.
You should put that in your bio, Jake, the mule deerologist.
I should, dude.
MD.
Or I might be. I'm more of an elkologist.
Elkologist.
I drink a lot of elk.
What?
Alcohol.
Oh, stupid. Alcohol. Stupid.
Oh, dude. You see a lot of those alcoholics.
Oh, yeah, the alcoholics, yep. But yeah, I mean, that was true. I saw that multiple times where hikers would be walking by and the deer could care less. It was very, very strange.
Right. I mean, what do you think if anything, you gained out of this?
To be patient. I noticed I rushed a lot of stocks. Okay. Yeah. Like on that massive deer that we saw, dude, we probably saw him at 400 yards.
Right.
And we stalked in, and it started snowing, and we were like, okay, well, they probably moved.
Right.
And that's fine. We should probably just.
So how was the wind and all that? Like, let's do like a play-by-play here.
To be honest, I don't remember the wind too much, only because I was so nervous.
Right. So this is if anything, this would be your first archery big game, yeah?
Yes. I put a stock on in the tanks my first year.
Okay.
And I got within 42 yards and missed.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it was pretty good stock. I was impressed with myself.
I'm impressed, yeah. Okay.
And I was like, okay, well, I could probably do it. And then
wait, were you wearing camo or were you wearing
I was
bright
wearing
orange?
camo. Yeah, I was wearing camo.
Because if you're wearing the bright hiker colors, then okay.
Now it's confirmed.
Now we're on to something.
Yeah.
No, but that was my first year, and then I pretty much didn't see a deer until I met you guys. So when we went out that day, it started snowing, and Steven's like, they're probably going to move, so let's just stay here. And I was like, all right.
Right.
So we stayed there, and it stopped snowing, and he's like, well, but this is your hunt. What do you want to do?
Right.
And I was like, well, let's move that way, because they're probably still in that vicinity.
In there, yeah. In that.
And he's like, all right. So I start to move, and I'm telling you, I went 10 feet, and I passed this juniper on my left. They were right there. And we spooked the crap out of them.
Yeah.
And I just gave up right there. I was like, damn.
Do you know
and he's like, no, stick with it. So we ran after this damn buck.
You know how many times I've given up on bowhunting? He knows.
Yeah, it was a tough hunt.
Dude, there's so many times where you end up doing something wrong, and you're just like walking in the shame of for like a good 30 minutes to an hours, maybe even days. Yeah. But then you always get this light of like just a boost or confidence boost in somehow where you're like, okay, well, you know what, I'm doing it right still, so let's keep going. You know? Yeah.
They're smart animals. I mean,
that's the whole point of it.
Right? Yeah, you're right.
You're trying to outsmart this animal.
Exactly, and they've seen it all. I'm pretty sure. I mean, maybe not the younger ones, but
right. So you would say patience, yeah.
Absolutely. Patience. Playing the wind is huge. I never really thought to do that.
Oh, dude, I do that.
But that you have to. Absolutely have to.
I'm always looking at how the wind goes or anything like that, because that determines on how you're going to approach anything.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So you base your stock on the wind.
Yeah.
And I've never really thought about that, but Steven had his wind detector out every 3 steps. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, okay.
When we first went out the first couple times, you didn't even have any.
No, I didn't. Right. And I was like, wow, this guy checking the wind freaking. I was like,
this guy's a wind god. What's going on here?
I was like, wow, this guy's serious about the wind.
Like, wow, he's talking to the gods. He must be Viking. Yeah.
That's a part Indian, bro.
Yeah, part Indian.
Call me Kimosabe.
Look back over here. The gods aren't happy. We gotta keep moving. No,
my ancestors say today is not a good day.
But they also say we still need to get out there.
Right?
But yeah, I think patience, checking the wind often. Mm-hmm. Those are the 2 main things I learned.
So, you made a pretty cool point. You were saying that before you ended up meeting up with us or even hunting with Steven, you were saying when you were hunting before, you didn't really get to see as much bucks.
Yeah.
Do you think you got anything out of that, of where the areas where he took you versus the spots you were at?
Okay. I never really traveled too far,
right?
Honestly, so I didn't know their habitat really.
Yeah, I was getting at. Did you learn anything of the habitat?
Yeah, absolutely. So I learned, what they like, what they don't like, but also their food sources. I learned a lot of that, and that's huge. If you know where their food is, you're probably
that's key, man. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then another thing I learned was if you can find doe, you'll find buck, and
especially in January,
right.
December,
right.
That's not always the case. Like August, sometimes you'll find a bunch of does, and you'll just be waiting. And it's like, oh, come on, man.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that kept having us to that place you introduced, like we saw what 3 or 4 does that were just by themselves a couple days, and we were like, oh, okay.
But you know they're going to come in, you know.
My original spot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we even put a stock on one.
Yep.
I remember that.
Yep.
And it ended up being a doe, but we weren't sure because we couldn't get a good line.
And that was like, so for me, not this last January, but 2019 or no, 2020 January. That was a trip, man. We ended up finding this group of deer, and there was a little spike in there, right? But it was the last day, and I was like, I'm just ready. I want to fill my archery mule deer tag. I want to get it done, right? And it was this little doe, or not just doe, it was a little like mutton buck kind of, and so we were hunting it good, dude. That whole month we were in them, we were refining them, you know, and just kind of like how we were this year.
Yep.
Refining them, and we knew where they kept going. Like we knew they were rounding this one hillside, they're coming up this little gauntlet, they're going in, you know, we had it planned, right? Mm-hmm. And so we ended up finding them, and it was like 5:30 in the afternoon, 6 o'clock, right? Sun goes down around 6:37, or maybe it was even earlier, and I find them, so I was like, all right, I'm just gonna kind of make a way into it, and then they're gonna feed into me,
right?
And I was sitting there, and dude, there's 8 does walking to me, and it was like 80 yards, 70 yards, 65, and it was just 8 does, and I was literally in this little like dugout on this hillside, like this little berm right here, and tucking myself under it, and I just kept peeking up with my binos, looking, and I knew there wasn't a buck, but I kept looking, like praying that one of these does turned into a buck, you know. Like, all right, maybe he grew an antler in 3 minutes, you know. Like, come on, he just sprouted one. But it's just like you keep hoping, like, all right, you found the does
until the sun goes down.
You know, right?
You know what I mean?
So it was, it's you think once you get all the does, the bucks got to be there, you know. They got to be right in there, which most of the times they are. But it's definitely disheartening sometimes when they're not with them.
For sure.
I'd say mine was patience too. Mm-hmm. Just learning to wait more. I mean, I got really close to killing that big 3x4 several times, you know, and people that watched our Instagram and stuff, you know, I didn't really hide the fact that I shot and missed a couple times. And I think that was part of my impatience, and 2, just trying to force the shot to happen, you know. It's like, I'm going to make it happen. And it's like, whereas if I had just sat and waited, I might have had a different opportunity, or, you know, who knows. Right. But, the same thing for me, just patience. Be more patient.
Yeah. Archery is easy. Everybody would do it.
That's true. That is true.
It's not easy.
Nope.
No, I get what you're saying, man. Like for when I think that was the same. Well, one of the nights when you ended up shooting at that 3x4 and missed him clean right under him, right? Mm-hmm. Where we were at in January.
Yep.
Clean missed right under him, and but I had an opportunity at him at 134. Mm-hmm. But granted, that's a freaking far shot, right?
That's a poke.
So it was at 134, and I tried so hard to like slowly creep up into him, and I kind of probably did push it a little bit because I thought I was behind this bush and he wasn't going to see me. Yeah. Right. So I was behind this bush and I was walking up to him. I was like, all right, well, I'm behind this bush. They can't see me. I'm going to keep walking. You know, I'm in the scree gear. We're good.
I can do anything.
Like, come on, man, right?
Basically invisible.
Like, dude, right? It's like, dude, come on. Maybe I should have been wearing bright orange.
Right?
But anyways, I thought I was going to just round this bush and I was going to be like 105, 90, something like that. Maybe 90 yards, you know? And I turn around this corner and they're dang near almost over to you now at this point. I was like, what the heck happened? Yeah. My wind was perfect, you know? I was like, they were right, like, there's no way.
Yep.
But they spotted me somehow and I didn't wait it out. Yeah. I think every time a lot of it comes down to patience, but the one thing for me though I think was just underestimating how well they could see.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, we had What was the one where you got pegged at like 400 yards?
Dude, right? That's what I'm saying. I was like, how the heck did this deer see me, dude?
No way that deer just freaking saw me, and that doe was like, boing, like tuned in.
Right on me, and then they just booked it around this hillside. I was like, all right, well,
and I saw it happen, and I ranged. I was like, dude, there's no way. What is this? And it was like 423, I think, is exactly what it was.
Yeah, we're sitting at this juniper tree.
Like, what the heck?
And we're glassing them. We had good sight. They're bedded down, dude. They're bedded down, and we're chilling, dude. Mm-hmm. We're chilling. I got them on my tripod. I was like freaking relaxing. I was like in the Bahamas. And I was like, all right, well, you know what? I could go for a snack. I'm going to kind of get up, go to my backpack, and grab me a little fig bar or whatever, fig Newton bar. Mm-hmm. As soon as I get up, Steven's like, oh, they got you. and I was like, what? He was like, yeah, they're gone. I was like, what are you doing? I was like, no way, dude. There's no way. There's no way. He's like, yeah, they must have saw you or something. There's a reflection or something. Like, what?
They saw something.
There's no way, dude. And it was like 400 yards.
That's
like, crazy. These deer can't see me. I was like John Cena.
Yeah.
You can't see me.
Dude, and I think that was the other biggest struggle of this whole season was the does.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
It was never, ever problems with the bucks, ever.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
Actually, I take that back. I had one encounter on that big 3x3 where I crested the ridge and he pegged me first. Yeah. But even then, he still hung out for a long time.
He stuck it around with his doe.
Because the does never saw me and they were like...
Dude, if only our rules were like Texas. Like, if a doe blows, she's going.
She's go. Oh, dude, there'd be so many dead.
If a doe blows, she goes, bro. Come on, she gets a red arrow, turn red.
There'd be so many dead does right now.
Yeah, that'd be a game changer.
I think the other thing too was this year I actually had frustration get to me to the point of where I was ready to walk home and call it quits.
Well, that was
the day I tagged out.
Yeah,
ironically enough.
Yeah.
Right.
I was pissed. I had a stalk I got to 25 yards, and I couldn't believe it. That was the closest I've ever been to deer. And I was so pumped, and I was ready to smoke this buck, and they just blew out, which is weird because the wind was in my face. Like, there was no reason. They had to have seen me or something because the wind was in my face. It was snowing. It was coming down, crazy weather. I was shivering. I was like, oh, but this is going to happen. Who cares? And I was just pumped.
Right.
And then they were just like, blew out of there. I was like, what the hell was that? Like, something weird happened.
Huh.
That day that I watched you stalk that big 3x4, I had never thought that they really moved, too much.
Right.
But man, this buck was chasing this doe all over the place. He was coming around this huge rock, and they were here at one point, and then they came down into this wash, and he followed her this way, and I thought he was coming towards me, so I was like, oh, well, I don't know if I can shoot this guy. That's his big deer, you know what I mean? And then there's a spike, to my left that I could have shot.
If you get the opportunity.
Dude, that's the thing, man. I hate it when I'm with people, and they're like, oh, no, that's your buck. I'm like, dude, if he comes close,
you know me,
smoke him, dude. I don't care. Somebody better kill this thing.
Well, that was... You thought that kind of way when you were with me. You were like, I didn't want to shoot your buck. I was like, dude, if you get the opportunity, blow this thing.
I say that, but if he came into 60 yards or closer, I might have shot it.
And I feel the same way, man. I don't care who I'm hunting with or what buck you got.
I think we kind of figured that out though after you and I hunted together a couple times, especially for our elk. Because you and I, when we did our elk hunt at first, we were taking turns.
Right, we were kind of being generous.
And then afterwards, we're like, no.
If you get the opportunity, let her loose,
just
man.
Smoke him,
Yeah, but he was on the stalk, and his deer's coming towards me, and then I got a spike less than 60 yards on my left, and I'm watching him while also trying to, watch this guy, and he's coming down towards me, and then he follows her back towards Steven, and I was like, oh, you're gonna die if you shoot him, you're gonna die. And it fell apart. He took a shot, they scattered, and dude, we probably never saw 20 of them. They were just hidden everywhere. They just booked it.
We saw maybe
so many
8.
Yeah, we saw maybe 8.
Oh, they hide.
But they were hiding.
Literally, like he said, there was close to 20 that booked out of there. What in the world?
That's kind of the fun part. It's like, where's Waldo?
Yeah, it's the grown-up version of Where's Waldo.
There's sometimes where you'll find, maybe you'll see this one doe that just flicker her head or whatever, know, she's like bedded down under this tree. And like, oh, okay, I got this doe.
Yep.
Now it's like, all right, where's the big boy? You know, and then you keep looking. You're like, oh, well, there's another doe. Okay, well, there's another one. Shoot, there's 6 does right here. Where's the buck? You know, and it's and then by the time you see, all right, well, there's 6 does, and you're like, you find this one buck, you hike over there, and like, oh, whoa, there's about 12 does. Like, what's going on here?
I think that
they hide, man. They're good.
They are very good.
That was the other cool thing this year too. Was the amount of glassing that we did to begin with. Yeah. Like when you and I were in December out there hunting and we glassed up that bedded buck. Like that was the first bedded buck I've ever spotted.
Oh, dude, that was gnarly. I couldn't believe you spotted him.
That was kind of cool.
That was gnarly.
I had never spotted a buck like that just by his tines, like sticking out.
That was how last year Darren ended up spotting those coos.
Yep.
Bedded.
Yep. Really? That's tough,
freaking
man.
Like a monster.
He kept telling me where it was, and I was like, I don't know.
I was trying to walk him.
I'm not getting him.
I'm trying to walk him in, yeah.
And then he showed me on his.
Like, sorry, dude.
Because he already had it set on him and locked. And I looked, and I was like, I don't see him.
He was like, what are you
And then I was like, oh. How did you see that? And then I'm looking through mine, 1042s, and I was like, I still don't see it.
Yeah,
but I saw him on yours, so I know he's there.
We gotta get
but I don't see him.
And he went to the restroom or something. He left, and he's like, did he move?
They had banyos out there?
Huh?
Yeah. He went to the restroom?
Yeah.
I didn't know they had banyos out there.
Right?
But, we were watching this deer, and I'm looking at this deer, and he comes back, and he's like, oh, he's not there anymore. I was like, what do you mean he's not there? He didn't go anywhere. I'm watching him. And he's like, no, he's not there. And I was like, he's there. He's just hiding. And he wasn't. He wasn't there. He moved.
He wasn't.
He definitely Houdini'd.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you got a new addition
to
your archery family.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
I in case you haven't seen the 500 posts on social media, I sold my Mach 1 and went Matthews.
You went the cool kid route.
Yeah, I got the Matthews V3 27 and couldn't be happier.
Yeah.
Freaking I'm pumped, man. I still have the 2021 PSE Expedite NXT LMNOP QRS.
Oh, okay. I didn't know they came on that.
Yeah.
Is that like the John Dudley version?
Yeah. No, I still shoot the Expedite. But yeah, I had been wanting a bow for a while that would push the boundaries, and I've been saying like, oh, I want an 80-pound bow. I want an 80-pound bow, and then finally, Arizona Archery Club, shout out to them, had a ambush green V3 27 with 75-pound mods in stock.
Right.
And even then, I was kind of like, oh, like it's just 75. And then they were like, well, actually, it came out to 79, and it's shooting 300 feet per second. I was like, good, sweet. Like that was everything I wanted. I was pumped. So yeah, I can't wait to take it to Texas and see what it does to an animal.
I'll tell you what it's gonna do.
I know what it's gonna do. I'm just excited to see it happen. But yeah, dude, what I like right away is
I love the color, dude.
I do. The ambush green is sick.
For sure. Sweet.
Yep.
Right.
I like that. I like
it's very compact.
the grip. Yeah, it's very compact. I like the 27. I like having a shorter bow. That's what I noticed too. Is over time I realized how big the Mach 1 was. Like that's a decent sized bow.
Yeah. So there's perks to the bigger bows, and then there's perks to the shorter bows.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty light compared to my other bows. Yeah. It's really not.
So if you guys were ever shooting Matthews before, like I shot a triax.
Paperweight.
And it was dude, for real. Like I shot the triax, and that was a phenomenal shooting bow. And that was a 28-inch axle-to-axle bow. I mean, almost like literally, if you have a triax, you can go and grab this 27. They're almost identical of where these risers set, because these new V3s, their limbs are actually beyond parallel. They're not parallel anymore.
Okay.
So if you look at these limbs, they're actually swept back.
Yeah.
And it's because that riser is so long. So that riser is probably realistically almost about the same length as the 28 triax. Mm-hmm. And but that was a sweet bow. But if you're used to shooting these Matthews bows, like he said, they're a freaking paperweight.
Yeah.
You might as well be carrying a 10-pound anchor on your,
Well,
on your hand.
I held yours when we had our elk hunt. I was like, oh, hell no.
How are you hiking with this thing, right?
That's how my Helix is, too. My Helix is heavy, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's a great shooting bow, but that thing is
Yeah,
heavy.
it helps with stability, but...
I can see the perks of it, but for me, I'm like, no.
Yeah, so Matthews cut a lot of weight and still kept their stability with these bows, and they are shooters, man.
Yeah.
These things are phenomenal.
Dude, this thing is so dead in hand.
Right.
Like, no vibration.
And that's what Matthews is known for.
I like the new quiver setup as well, because the biggest thing that I don't like about some of the what are those quivers called?
Tight spots?
Tight spot quivers is like
noisy.
when I shoot, I hear my arrows all rattle,
Right.
and I'm like, crap, like I don't like that at all.
So Matthews actually has built-in dampeners in their quivers too, so it's really cool.
Yep.
What I ended up picking up the 31. The 31.
Yeah, I didn't know that at first either until I was at the range with you the other day. I was like, oh, hey.
and it's phenomenal. I love that bow. It's so stable, and like what I was telling you earlier, the difference is when you're gonna get a longer bow versus a shorter bow. The longer bow, you'll get a little bit of maybe a bigger brace height, which will help with stability or what they call forgiving, because now your actual grip is a little bit further away from that string, and it helps with torque, right? But these shorter bows are going to be a little bit less brace height. They'll be faster because now we're going to have more string, less brace height, and you're going to have more FPS, but less forgiveness. So, but regardless, they're freaking awesome bows.
Yeah, that was the one thing I noticed going from PSE to Matthews. I obviously originally selected PSE for the seat and the valley. So
right.
when you're at full draw, dude, you've got a gnarly valley that thing sits in, and you almost have to push the bow forward to get it to snap back, and go back down.
So what's the valley? If people don't know what that is,
sure. So when you're pulling back a bow, and you're going back, you'll feel it start to hit like maximum resistance or a slump, and that's called the seat. And you're starting to seat into then what's the valley, and you'll feel it completely give. So you'll hit that 80-90% let off. Yep. And then it's just boom, the bow just sits there or whatever.
Yeah, PSE has a 90% let off, where Matthews has 85. But
that's what I liked about PSE, and that's why I chose it, because I had sat at full draw for so long on my first archery coups, where I'd held for 2 or 3 minutes, and I was like, dude, I need a bow that I can do that and not be worried. So that's why I chose PSE, was because it's it felt, there's videos on the internet of PSEs being at full draw and they let go of the bow and it just stays there and stuff. There's just crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, cool. So I selected it for that.
And they usually have really good speed out of their bows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's usually what they've been proud of, is their speed and their valley.
Yep. But. Yep. And so now I've noticed going to Matthews, there is no seat and there is no valley. It feels like
they have a seat.
Yeah.
They don't have much.
I can't say there is no seat. That's true.
They definitely have a lump right before you go in.
Compared to what I was used to, it just felt like.
So now knowing what the valley is on that bow, what do you think about when I was at full draw earlier this year in January at that mule deer?
Yeah.
Dude, I drew back so early on this buck.
Yeah, so early.
Right? Dude, I drew back so early, and I'm sitting at this full draw, dude, and just holding this thing. And
I saw that happen. I was like,
and he was like, all right. He was like, well, hold on. They went around the bush. I was like, okay, all right. I'm holding back on this bow. And you're at full draw so long, and you actually you end up leaning your head back and you're holding your bow kind of in front of you at full draw just to try and relax, right? He's like, all right, I got him again. I was like, all right, cool. And I go right back in, lean my head in. I was like, he's like, all right, he's on the bottom. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, he's on the bottom. I was aiming at this one deer on the top. He was like, oh yeah, he's on the bottom. He's the very dark one. I was like, oh, okay. And I leaned, and then I started aiming down. Dude, I was shaking at that point because I was at full draw with this deer for at least almost 40 seconds. Dude, I was like, holy cow! Yep. It felt like 3 minutes.
I was freaked out because I could tell you weren't aiming at the right one. I was like, we don't need to shoot it down.
Right.
That's no bueno.
So, but yeah, that was a trip.
Yeah.
75 pounds too, boy. I was like,
yeah, that's dude. I honestly didn't even think about that until much later. I was like, oh yeah, we're shooting the newer bows. We've got 75-pound mods,
right?
And yeah, that's a long time to hold that much weight. I could see. I was kind of back behind you,
and you can start
to your quarter. I could see your arm start to
like
shake.
This, yeah.
I was like, oh crap. So
yeah,
that wasn't good.
And I was about to drop. I was about to pull down. Until you were like, all right, he's right there. And I was like, oh, shoot, dang it. Now I was like, dang it. All right, well, I got to hold it out now, you know? It was like, which I should have just pulled down, but should have just let down.
That's okay. You might have gotten another shot on him, too, but
right.
we'll never know now. That's okay.
Never know. Never know.
That's okay.
But.
So do you think you'll ever hunt back in there again?
I don't know. That'll be one of my last resorts.
Not your cup of tea, huh?
It's not my go-to, that's for sure.
Because it's like, dude, if someone's not in good physical shape, you know, you're not gonna get back in there, or you're not gonna do very well in there.
But you guys found good bucks, right?
Yeah.
When we went there, we saw a friggin' mutton buck, and
that's what sucked, man.
4 does, and I was like, really?
I talk it up.
Brought me all the way up here. For this crap?
I talk it up big.
Like, I could have gone over to this other spot in the little roller grasslands and could have shot a bigger buck. You know, I was like.
I was frustrated I had talked it up so much and then we didn't see it. Like,
right.
Diddly.
Well, that's how it is every year. Like, I've told people I've seen big bucks in there, and they're like, no, not a chance. And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, I don't believe you. And I was like, okay.
Bigger than big, yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
it is
I'll keep going.
Yeah. Like, if you know there's bucks in there,
right.
Of course you're going to go in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I just going off the point of a good hunting buddy over here telling me there's good bucks in there.
I swear there is.
And then he puts me into this freaking snowstorm with lightning and only see a mutton buck.
Yeah, that was the other thing too, man. And that I'll say is, like, I think a lot of people bail when that stuff happens.
Absolutely. I mean,
they're like, "Oh, it's raining." Oh, and I saw a lot of those questions this year. They're like, "Oh, hey, it's raining. Like, what do the deer do?" And I'm like, "Dude, if it rains, like, run to the hills. Like, run to the hills. They are gonna move."
To a point. If it's freaking hammering, they're not gonna move.
Remember when you were giving me crap about it, and then we saw a buck like right after.
Well, that was after, like, yeah. But if it's actively hammering, you're gonna hunker.
But it was to the point of like. Of hilarity,
right? Well, it happened literally
it had just
seconds after.
Torrential, like thunder and ice, like gnarly hail and all this stuff.
We look back at these at these clouds, like the dark black abyss, dude. Like, oh, okay,
like Lord of the Rings when Sauron is like coming. They were like, oh crap. So we ride this thing out or whatever. And Jake was like, you were pretty much like, oh, there's no deer. And then there's like a buck like strolling this. I'm like, Jake, there's a deer right there. 90, there's a buck. There's a buck.
I was like, all right. But no, like what you say, you're like people run away when they get discouraged out of these things, right?
Oh yeah.
And I think the best part of what comes to mind is after when we call up Pops, right?
Yep.
We call up Pops after we get out of this canyon, and we're like, all right, well, we just saw this bear, we just shot at him, but we're trailing this blood, and it dropped straight down to the bottom. He was like, well, he's like, yeah, I've hunted there before, you know, yeah, I know about it, I know that area. I'm like, yeah, it's super. Like, I'm hyping this thing up. Like, this is freaking straight up and down. Like, this is the gnarliest canyon, you know. And you're like, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, we had a storm coming in, you know. So, like, we're going to back out here. Then we'll come in tomorrow morning. I was like, well, what'd you do that for? He's like, well, how far down were you? I was like, well, we're probably close to halfway down. He's like, and you didn't finish it out? I was like, no. I was like, well, Steven was getting low on water, and we had rain coming in, you know. Like, all these excuses, right? And that's what comes down to, like, people will find excuses to get out of stuff.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because it's the easy way to give up, right? It's easy to give up.
Yep.
And he was like, "What, are you a real hunter or what?" And I was like, in my mind, I'm calling my Pops to try and get some type of a reassurance, like confidence, you know, like, "Oh, you're doing good, son." You know, you're like, just keep pushing through. And he's like, "Well, are you a real hunter or what?"
It was the total opposite.
Like,
basically, like slapped you through slapped you through the phone.
I was like, "Well, shoot."
Basically called you a sissy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
And that's the truth, though, man. Like, for real. Like you were saying that the other day. You're like, when when it comes down to the gnarliest stuff, are you a real hunter or what? You know?
Yeah.
And that's nothing but the truth.
I would agree.
I guess these old guys know a little bit about it, huh? I think what was cool was Cameron Haynes made a post about it the other day. If you don't like him, that's fine. If you do, he's got a cool role model aspect to him, but sometimes he's a little overkill. But like it's not really worth. It's like for people that are looking into bow hunting, and this guy's over here talking about wanting to shoot a 100-pound bow. That's you don't need to do that.
Yeah, no, that's overkill.
That's just kind of stupidity. But
that's his.
The work ethic that he has is definitely key, right?
Yeah, his work ethic is aspiring.
Right.
But he does also actively stipulate though too that he just likes to push boundaries. So
Right.
he's like, that's why I do all this crazy. He's like, I just like to see what humans can do, and so yeah.
So grab bits and pieces out of him, right?
Very very motivating guy. There's no doubt about that.
But he made a really cool point. He was saying your fathers and your grandfathers back in the day, they were toting around all these 10-pound bows. They were toting around all this stuff. They didn't have these ultralight backpacks. They didn't have all this ultralight hunting clothing. You know, these high-tech boots, these super lightweight bows with high let-off mods. You know, like they were shooting hardcore stuff. You know, they were hunting in hardcore stuff. Yeah. And it was the time of real men, you know. It's like nowadays we got these guys that are going out here and complaining, well, I got so much in my backpack, this, you know, like, I can't keep going. And they give up. Yep. But it's just a different era, man. It's so different.
Yeah,
for sure.
So
absolutely.
And it's motivation, to be honest.
Yeah. But that's why I like it though too, and I think I've hit a good stride with that, like, if I get hit, I hit back harder mentality. I hit a really good stride with it this year, I feel like. And so then it confirmed it for me.
Right.
But yeah, I like it a lot. But
yeah.
So what are you guys going to do now? You planning for rifle? Or are you going to wait and do August?
Oh, I'm doing August for sure.
Yeah, I'm going to do August as well.
See, I refuse to hunt August.
Oh, I'm doing August.
I will not do it.
But I'm not doing what you do. I'm not,
what else are you going to do?
I take that back. I just told you earlier I was going to hunt in the desert. I usually don't hunt in the desert in August, but I found a really killer set of sheds. So we're going to hunt in the desert in August.
Yeah.
But now, usually August, I've got a trailer up north, and I'll just go camp out in the trailer and hunt out of that spot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's so beautiful up there.
Is it
so
open
gorgeous.
in August?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Are you sure?
But I've never found a nice buck there yet.
Bro, let me tell you.
Not in August, though.
I was going to say, because when we were on our elk hunt.
Yeah, not in August.
I seen the biggest deer.
But I don't even know. That was a magical deer, so I don't even know.
I've seen the biggest deer I've ever seen
in
my life.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. That was like how you thought about my 3x3, and then finally you ended up finding it. You're like, whoa, you weren't lying. Okay.
Yeah. That was funny because I was pointing out we ran to Sportsman's
to go grab game bags, I think, or something like that. Yeah.
I'm showing you deer on the wall. I'm like, dude, that deer was this big. Look at this guy.
It's like this buck out of freaking Montana, you know, this huge freaking 200-inch buck. Yeah, he was just about as big as him.
I'm telling you, man.
Oh yeah, sure, dude. Yeah.
I believe you on your 3x3 now. Believe me on this one. That deer was a monster.
Yeah.
A monster.
So yeah, I'm definitely hunting in August. I don't even think I'm going to put in for rifle this year.
No?
I think I'm going to hold on to my points and save it up.
I really am.
But you can't. You don't have an option now.
I'm rapidly growing away from rifle. Not for bear. I think bear is too tough for me right now, personally, to try and do with a bow. But I think everything else, I pretty much feel like I just want to bow hunt. I don't want to.
Are you B4L, bro?
What?
B4L.
B4L?
Yeah, B4L.
Oh, bow hunter for life?
Yeah.
Pretty close, yeah. I think so. I'm excited for elk. I hope one of us gets a tag. I just want to be out there in the woods again.
Dude, nothing like
calling and screaming.
That was something else.
Yeah. We definitely got lucky with the full experience.
Right.
on our first hunt.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
The story is crazy.
Yeah.
It is. It truly is. Like if you don't draw tag, go with somebody that does.
I was gonna say, you know what? Even
Right.
if none of us draw,
man.
let's just go for a weekend
Yeah.
and just to experience it because it
For
is
sure.
nuts.
It's fun, man.
Heck yeah.
I mean, I could see why Corey Jacobson, all these.
If somebody's
guys are just
listening
so addicted
and
to
we don't
alcohol.
draw a tag and you do, and you need some collars and some packer outers,
I know a guy, Steven will pack it out, I'll call him.
I'll just say I'll offer up Loke to pack out.
I know a pack outer and I know a caller. I'll call. I got a packer outer. And then Eric will bring the beer.
I'm logistics.
All right, go this way. Over here. Yep.
We even know a guy with a helicopter.
Yeah, really. We got a helicopter pilot. So what are you gonna do for OTC?
Or do you have any rifle tag or points for deer at all? Or anything?
I think I have 1 point for deer. But I don't think I'll put in for rifle. I know at this point, if I got a rifle tag, I could tag out pretty easily.
I mean, I thought that too. Oh, what I did, but
I was gonna say, dude,
Right.
you
I was
were
gonna say I
like
did, but-
day 2.
You're also coos deer hunting, right? So
Right.
Those
Yeah.
are harder to spot and stuff.
you
but-
never, dude. Like you never know. Like you can have the most confidence, right? It's just like with this January hunt in OTC, we were so confident. We were
Yeah.
so
Right.
confident. We were like, I'm gonna shoot this buck tomorrow, boom, and it just you never know.
Not
Right.
even
So-
close.
Yeah, but with a rifle, I mean, come on, man.
Right.
Like, you could be 400 yards away.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. This is my first actual year of good hunting, and
That's cool, huh?
I got pretty close. Like,
Yeah, dude, you
know what
got
I mean?
the
So-
royal treatment too, as far as experience goes.
Yeah, right. So I don't know. I think it would be easy with a rifle, but
Which I don't.
then again, I don't
trying to figure
necessarily
that out.
want easy.
Are we
You know
all
what I
just
mean?
extremely?
cool.
Are we all extremely lucky, or like?
I mean,
Just because I hear people that are like, dude, I haven't tagged out in like 9 years and all this and blah blah blah, and
I'll
it's
be
like
straight front. I haven't tagged out an archery deer yet.
not archery deer, but like look at our elk hunt and
Oh yeah,
look at,
I mean,
right.
I've got elk. I've got the rifle coos deer. I've
Right.
got I've been lucky enough to get these tags recently,
Yeah.
but
yeah,
I'm still struggling to try and get these archery deer tags,
yeah.
and it is tough, man.
It's very
But
tough.
it's almost more motivating to go out though. Like,
Right.
Archery is kind of like, and I told him it's like a roller coaster of emotions, right?
yeah.
Like, you see this deer, you get excited. You either miss the deer or spook him, and then you're just down in the pits.
Yep.
But then you see another deer, and you're back up.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
It's
yeah.
crazy.
Like
It's
you
totally
know how
true.
many times you give up on a hunt, but then you're right back in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's what happens.
It's insane.
Yeah.
But
100%.
because I didn't get one this year, it just gives me that drive to go back out next year. You know what I mean?
Cool.
So
Heck yeah.
Right on.
Anything else?
If you're not following me, Jake from State Farm.
you sound
So I put a feeler out there just for questions in case anybody had some. And Tier Fun Operator, he asked fixed or mechanical. So as we speak, I'm
a
actually
big fan of mechanical.
mechanical.
Hybrids.
And when I came into this, I was a big fan of fixed. I only shot fixed. I shot the Afflictor. So we're sponsored by Afflictor. We shoot all their broadheads. I shot the Afflictor EXT fixed EXT. And
Do you have any of these?
the afflictors.
the Afflictors?
Yeah.
I
I
gave
was
him.
gonna say, how do you not?
Yeah,
have
so I lost all of my arrows on one of our hunts, going through all the thick stuff.
Well, you sent
I
one.
sent one.
You sent one at the Big Buck.
And then the other two just got ripped off going through this.
Okay.
down
Dude, he
this
was
creek.
dropping arrows out of his quiver. I'm not really sure what was going on there.
Yeah, well,
That's scary.
Well, one
Yeah,
it was
right.
it was super thick, where
Yeah,
were
it was
cat
super
claws
thick.
everywhere.
Yeah.
And they took all mine, but I had all G5
We just
Montex
don't want
on.
to talk about those.
Yeah.
G stands for garbage.
No, now we're set up.
They're a bunch of girl
Girl
broadheads.
fixed.
No.
Fixed girls.
No, they're all right. They're good.
Oh yeah, they shoot. Dude, well, when he was shooting his deer target with him, man. He was hammering that thing.
Yeah, they're good. They're good broadheads.
We like to talk smack, but in reality, a lot of things work just fine.
Oh yeah, dude,
for sure.
We just we obviously partner with what we like because it works for what we want.
Mm-hmm.
Where, like you said, you started off with the fixed blades,
yeah,
right? And I really like mechanical broadheads because of how big they'll cut.
Yeah,
I mean they will freaking just put a
dude, when I shot
cave in this thing.
When I shot my Axis, I was like, "Oh,
yeah." And you weren't a big believer in these hybrids, right?
No,
or these mechanicals.
No.
And then you were like, "Oh."
Right? I was like, "Damn!"
Oh yeah.
Look at that hole.
One of the guys was like this diehard
rage
broadhead guy, right? He was like, "Oh yeah, it just put the biggest hole out of anything." And then we come back, he was like, "You shot that with a rage, right?" And we're like, "No,
nope."
I shot that with a flicker. Oh, he's like, okay.
And he's like, let's measure it. Let's measure it. Did I think it was like a 1/4 inch wider than a rage?
I don't know.
It was barely. It was just a hair over. But anyways, I mean, in reality, that doesn't matter at that point. But
how big of a hole
it was still cool.
I just like them because it's a hybrid, so it's not necessarily just a mechanical, right?
Right.
So it's a hybrid. It's got this huge chisel tip or this huge blade in the front, which makes it a hybrid, and then you've got your actual fold-out expandable blades.
Yep.
And they fly just phenomenal.
They do. They fly like field tips, which is what I like. So. I'm rebuilding some as we speak. So if you hear noises in the background, it's probably me clunking around rebuilding a few broadheads.
So.
But yeah. In fact, somebody even else commented on the buck that I shot in January and said, "Look at the holes in that thing."
Yeah. So to answer Tier Fun 1 operator.
Mechanical. Or, well, kind of.
Hello, operator.
I'm a smooth operator.
Smooth operator.
I guess both, because it's a hybrid. Yeah, hybrids, afflictor hybrids. Did you guys experience low rut activity and high hunting pressure during late OTC season?
We
I would
high rutting and high pressure.
We definitely well, yeah, okay. I would say pressure died off a little bit. But I would say this year for sure is the most amount of hunters I've ever seen.
It's a growing sport.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm sure COVID, whatever, but has played a hand in that. Definitely people camping, that's for damn sure.
Right.
Like we've seen more people just out and about in general than
razors
ever.
driving up and down.
Oh yeah.
Roads,
Oh yeah.
When I was helping out at the archery shop, there were so many new archers coming through.
It's a growing sport, man.
Yeah.
It truly is.
I mean, that's a good thing, though. I mean,
right?
Yeah.
What about rut activity? This year I had
was rutting pretty good.
Yeah, I was gonna say they were rutting hard, and it never really tapered though either. I saw it continue through the entire season.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. A lot of rutting, a lot of pressure is what I thought. But
I thought they rutted pretty hard this year and pretty good.
Yeah,
I never saw a lone buck.
Yeah, if you were following our Instagram page, I took a video of this mule deer buck freaking sniffing around, putting his head up.
Well, even when did I first spot him? I think it was like December 19th or something.
It was like 2 or 3 weeks before actually OTC January.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was maybe 2 or 3
And
weeks
he was already like sticking his nose in the air and kind of going after some does and stuff.
Well, it was kind of a weird winter too. It really was.
It was very dry, first of all.
For sure, it was dry.
Yeah.
It was fairly warm, and then we ended up getting a nice, good cold front right before Christmas, and kind of stayed around Christmas time. And then January was just perfect. Honestly, I think January was killer for weather. It stayed cold.
It was pretty nice, yeah.
Yeah. No rain. We didn't get much rain, but.
Not till the end.
Weather-wise, it was still good.
The end we did, but
so I don't know. I think for where we were at, I don't know where everybody else is at, but I think the rut was good.
Yep, I would agree. Should I practice with broadheads that I plan on using to hunt?
Yes,
100%,
absolutely,
100%.
I would definitely, obviously, practice with your field tips on off season, but 2 weeks, 3 weeks before your hunt, every maybe weekend or at least 2 days a week or a day a week, go out and make sure your broadheads are dialed in.
Yep.
And have a couple spares.
Yeah. You might bury a couple.
You might chuck one in the dirt, but no, 100%. Your broadheads are not always going to fly the same as your field tip. Sometimes they might, but most of the times they're not.
Yeah.
You might be a little bit more left to right. You might be a hair off elevation. That's just something you should always be doing.
Yeah, it's a guessing game until you actually shoot it.
Mm-hmm.
So, to be as accurate as you can, yes.
Yep. Is there a difference between shooting with practice arrows and hunting arrows?
I
don't even have different arrows.
Yeah,
my hunting arrows are my practice arrows.
Right.
Practice
so I don't know
how
if
you're gonna hunt is.
I don't know if maybe that's how if they're saying the same question.
Well, it's the same person, so I'm guessing they mean something different.
Okay. Then I don't know. Truly, I would be practicing with your hunting arrows before your hunt starts.
Right.
If you've got your own.
If you have them like segmented, like maybe you buy a dozen, let's say FMJs like I have, and you have 6 for practice and then 6 for hunting, they're probably going to fly the same if they're brand new and everything's the same on them.
Right.
But I practice with all my arrows just so I know how they all fly.
Right.
Same.
So I guess my question, I got 2 parts to this. If you're running the same arrows, but you're running maybe different weights, or if you're running maybe even a different veins, then I would be practicing with my hunting arrows before.
Oh yeah.
Now, if you're running a whole different arrow setup, maybe you're running a way lighter arrow for target archery, and you're running a way heavier FOC or a way heavier arrow for hunting. Regardless, still hunt with or practice with your hunting setup at least 2 or 3 weeks before your hunt.
Yeah.
And if your practice arrows are like for 3D or whatever, you're gonna have to change everything for the hunting season.
For your sight, all that.
Yeah, everything's gonna have to change probably.
Yep.
Or unless if you're just like me and everything's dead on.
Because you're shooting Matthews.
Yeah, because you're shooting freaking missiles.
Left team Hoyt.
I still got a Hoyt. Just my old man shooting in there.
Yeah.
Pops.
Yep. And I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see him get out there.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if we're still going.
Not too many 61-year-olds are shooting a freaking nice Hoyt RX4.
No.
It's like he's got it made.
Right?
But no, he was super. I was impressed. He shot good.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have been impressed because he was.
I was gonna say
he was always shooting archery. That was all he shot.
Right.
Growing up, and then when me and my brother got a little bit older, and he started taking us hunting, he transitioned into rifle, right? But him and his buddies used to only archery hunt. And they're shooting like these old Golden Eagles, like these old school bows, right? Oneidas, all this like old school bows, and like there's no let off on these freaking things. Like, but
that's like, have you shot my grandpa's bow yet?
I pulled it back.
Yeah, dude, it's rough. It's really rough. That's only like 50 pounds.
But yeah, and so I don't know. I shouldn't have been surprised by it, but I was. I was like, hey, old man's got it. All right.
Heck yeah.
So
that's dope. I'm excited for him to get out there and lay it down.
Is he going out with you in August?
You know, he talks about how he wants to go back into archery hunting. I think what it would take for him to do that, or at least to get into it, would be finding a good area to where there's a good amount of animals sourced in that area to where we can get them on some action without getting them discouraged, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I think this tip is ruined.
But, no, I'm excited about it. I think we're shooting in the back one day, and he's like, you never know, I might get that itch again and start hunting again. So it'd be cool. So what do you guys got next? bear, anything? Turkey? Oh, you got a turkey.
I got turkey tag.
Cool.
Yeah.
No,
Are you going to try bear?
I applied for elk.
Yeah.
I think but I think everybody did.
September.
What do you think? Are you wanting to go for bear?
As of right now, no. I don't really have any interest in
No?
bear, mountain lion, anything like that. Right now, I'm just like focused on deer.
Are you a hunter or what? No.
See, for me, I've got this like super big grudge match right now with the bear.
Yeah, dude, you got it.
Oh,
Hardcore.
Yeah, that's fair.
I want to freaking just put this thing in smithereens, and so.
Yeah, I could tell that one kind of left
Oh, I was so
a
bitter
stain
about
on
it, dude.
your resume
It
there.
was bad.
Dude, that should have been a chip shot.
It literally should have been. And I was so pissed. I was just so upset with myself. I kept thinking, I was like, I'm never going to get a better shot than what I had. I kept thinking, I was like, I'm never going to get a better shot. I'm never going to get a better shot than what I had. It was the perfect shot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the perfect shot you could ever ask for.
Yeah.
And,
Do you think you'll ever get a better shot than what you had?
I don't think so, dude. I truly don't. I still don't think I will ever get a better shot than that. But that's the point where it's like, now I have to make a better shot than that.
Right, right.
And so it's just like, he's going to die.
I don't know what to say, but you're going to die.
I don't know what else to say. So that's my public enemy number one. That's my John Dillinger.
That cinnamon?
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
So he's going to die.
I'd like to get a bear. For sure.
Yeah.
I really want a mountain lion, though, too. I think I want them both equally.
I want a bear more than a mountain lion.
I didn't realize I was whacking that mic there. I would just like a predator, period, because it's different than hunting deer.
So different.
So different.
So different.
How does it differ?
Well, one, they could hurt you.
Yeah, okay. So,
not really a bear, but very different country, for sure.
Very different country, very different the way they think.
Yeah.
Like, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, when you hunt an animal, you always try to think, what are they thinking? Right? Deer, I don't know what they think. I think they're like spaghetti up in there, dude. Like, straight up.
Spaghetti.
Like, at least a bear is
doesn't say much about us.
I don't know. A bear's kind of spaghetti, too, because they just kind of ho-hum around wherever the food takes
I
in.
ho-hum around all the time, too.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. Just kidding.
Yeah, man. But bears are smart.
Yeah.
Like, super smart, man. And there's no wonder why some of these bears are freaking living
19 years.
10 plus years.
Yeah.
19 years.
That one
When's the last time you ever heard of a buck living 19 years?
No.
Never.
I don't know
Don't
what
have.
the life expectancy
Because they got
of deer
spaghetti
is,
brains.
actually.
Spaghetti brains.
Because they got spaghetti brains. Dude, their mind's probably freaking running around like an IndyCar track, bro. I don't know what's going on. But, dude, it's just, if you haven't done it, you gotta do it. And it truly is kind of addicting, honestly. It really is. Because you're hiking in these gnarly spots and stay day in after day in, and you want to give up. But then you're like,
Right.
And you keep going for it.
I think that's the thing, is that by the time you get to the hunting grounds, you're already so invested.
Right.
And it does kind of push you and force you to hunt hard, even more hard.
It really is. It's cool because it is tough.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what is addicting about it.
Yeah. Agree. Am I doing this right? Or am I jacking that up?
No, you gotta.
I usually have like a razor knife, but
Yeah. I usually see guys do it with like a pocket knife or something.
Bow hunting makes a.
Oh, we gonna take that one off too?
oh, you just want that one? I was gonna take them off.
Well, I guess we're taking it. What do you have? You got Maxes?
Yeah, you got the same ones.
Okay.
But they're not the right color, probably.
Orange. That's the same orange.
Yeah, it is.
If you're listening to all this mumbling going on, we got Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
We're refletching some arrows, yeah.
Which when he could just go to archery club.
Because now that I picked up this V3, I'm just so accurate. I split a couple fletchings.
Okay.
I think if you don't know how to fletch an arrow, though, you should probably do it because you're going to be doing a lot of it.
I bet. That's what I'm learning, especially when I started practicing with my broadheads. And, one, I learned afterwards to start spacing my arrows out on purpose when I shoot, especially with broadheads.
Yeah, shooting groups and then Robin Hoods is cool until you actually do it.
Yeah.
That's why I try to only shoot 3 arrows in a group, and then I'll move on.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are shooting like 5, 6. And you're just risking it.
This one's still bloody.
Yeah, no. What I'm looking forward to is bear. I got a grudge match. So.
I'm just honestly, dude, I'm not looking any farther than Texas right now.
Oh yeah.
I just can't.
And that's up in Arizona.
Oh yeah. Unfortunately. Unfortunately, but that and elk will be in the blinds while we find out if we get elk or not.
Right. Yeah.
It's kind of cool. So, all right. Well, cool. Eric.
Sir.
It's good to have you on the podcast.
Hey, I appreciate you having me. It was fun.
I was kind of getting tired of talking to Jake all the time.
No, he wasn't.
Sarcasm is one of the many services that I offer.
He just felt bad for him. He's like, oh, Eric, we better probably get him on here.
Yeah. Dang.
I'm just kidding.
Tell all these beginners what they don't already know.
No, it's always good having new people in.
Heck yeah.
And, like, especially with you being kind of fairly new into this, too.
Yeah.
I liked being able to
Heck
see
yeah.
what you got out of it going with Steve some of these stuff. So that was cool.
It was a good experience for sure.
It was fun just being able to kind of sit back, like, especially for all December, and just watch.
I like being able to hear how you're, like, motivated to keep going in, and that's cool. I like that. So, but, yeah, so thanks for coming on, man.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Will you be back?
Absolutely. Anytime you guys want.
Anytime we continue to offer bourbon and burgers and...
We'll just leave the third B out. I guess we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Yeah, that's all you got to say about that. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for listening.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to the BowhuntingAZ podcast. Please be sure to subscribe to the podcast, smash those 5 stars on iTunes, and leave a little review at the bottom. It'll really help us out. For our short films, go subscribe over on YouTube. Just search BowhuntingAZ. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at BowhuntingAZ. Good luck to everyone this season. We'll catch you in the next episode.